Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anaya. Thank you for joining me again. So, what is going on the girls group trip?
This is why I deadass don't do group trips. I don't do girls trips. Every time I travel, I always travel with one person. That's my best friend. Because why I just came back from Cabo and one of the girls did not bring no bread to the trip. So story time on why the fuck I will never do a girls trip again. So mind you, before I even booked the trip, my intuition told me not to go on the trip. Like I was the last person to book. I spoke to my mom. She told me to follow my gut. She told me not to book. But it was one of my homegirls' birthday, and I never ever celebrated her birthday with her. So I was just like, I like traveling. Fuck it, I'll pop out to the trip. The reason I wanted to go wasn't because of her though. It was because of the people she was inviting to the trip. So I was just like, if I'm gonna go, I'm not gonna go if she invites just her friends. I'm gonna invite somebody myself. And I did. I invited my man. Bruh. My man, that's not my man, but he is my man, but that's a whole nother story for next time. We all went to my friend's birthday dinner. We gonna call her Keisha. Keisha had her birthday dinner the night before. She invited two other girls, and one of the girls was going on the trip with us. We gonna call the other girl Imani. We all ordering, having a good time. But like Imani vibe from like the very jump is throwing me the fuck off. Like she gives like pick me, yes man, I'm a fan type of vibe. You know, one of those girls that you can peep just follows you around because she just wants to be like accepted so bad. Yeah, she was one of those girls. But I'm like, not my friend, not my problem. So she can do whatever the hell she want to do. But one thing about it, I can read a person and I'm never wrong. Every person she brought around me, I told them exactly who they were. And before they even showed them who the fuck they was, I was right. So we ordering, we tasting food. I'm vibing with the girl that's sitting next to me. She didn't go on the trip. But when the bill came, the bill was like $798 or something like that. That's valid for 4 people. Especially since we went to a nice restaurant. Mind you, if you do the math, it was only $181 per person. My bad, this was the receipt. It was $724. So I put it on my card because like, I didn't really care. Everybody sent me their bread automatically. The other two girls sent me their bread. All of a sudden, her Cash App is not working. Her Zelle is not working. Her Venmo is not working. Her PayPal is not working. Her Apple Pay is not working. Talking about, oh, it must be the service. How come everybody's service was great when they sent me my bread? Now it's your turn. Your service is bad. Come to find out, this girl shorted me $46. And I was definitely pissed about it because, girl, I don't even know you for you to be owing me bread. She was like, oh, did you pay yet or can I tap? Girl, obviously you saw me put my card down for the whole bill. That's why everybody sent me the bread. I told her I paid. She showed me she only had $135 in her bank account. Bruh. Why do you only have $135 in your bank account? We leave tomorrow. So I'm like, maybe she gets paid tomorrow because it was Thursday and we left on a Friday. So she sent me the bread and I got the bread of $135 and she was just like, I owe you $46. So I'm like, okay, thinking she's going to pay me tomorrow because it's Friday. Yeah, I never got that bread.
Just seems like every other day I get online, I see another tragic group trip that somehow made it out of the group chat, but devolved when they got to their destination. And I hate to see it for the girls, but I'm like, y'all do realize you didn't have to go on this trip, right? Like, you actually didn't have to go. Travel can be expensive. Now, there's a lot of ways to make it not expensive, but a lot of these group trips require planning, staying at resort hotels, multiple rooms, or like a big Airbnb where everyone has to chip in. There's a lot of coordination. People are taking PTO, people are leaving their kids at home, leaving their booze at home or not. There's a lot that goes into a girl's trip. And so when you get there and the trip is bad vibes, it's like, well, damn, what are we doing here? I'm gonna give y'all a couple of reasons today why you actually just shouldn't go on the trip. And I'm hoping these tips will save y'all from a lot of this drama that goes down on the group trips. Low key, I feel like some of this drama is a little manufactured, slash, some people are just dramatic, period. So no matter where they are in the world, it's gonna be a problem if you're with them. But if you're going on a girls' group trip, here's why you probably should just stay home. Just stay home, sis. The biggest reason you shouldn't go on a girls' trip is you can't afford it. Girl, they talking about you going to Jamaica and it's $5,000 per person and your bank account's looking like
Where? Yeah, no.
don't go. I feel like a lot of people feel pressure because one, it might be their friend that's inviting them, a close friend. So the thought is, well, my close friend wants to go. I ain't got it, but I want to support her. So I'm going to go and stretch myself financially thin in order to make it on this trip. But everyone, especially in these economic times, can understand, reasonable people can understand, that not everyone can afford everything right now. I've had my fair share of people reach out to me to go on girls group trips fairly often. And I travel a lot. And I travel a lot because I budget my travel really well. Like if I know I'm going to a trip, I'm planning a trip a year ahead, I start planning and saving a year ahead so that when that time comes, I'm ready to buy the ticket, I'm ready to book the hotel, I'm ready to book the accommodations. So when people see someone traveling a lot, it's like, oh, okay, she got money. No, she know how to budget. Okay, like that's two completely separate and different things. If you are going on a group trip and you didn't budget for it, it's not in your bank account, and nor will it be in your bank account anytime soon, just skip it, okay? If you have to use your credit card and you know that you're going to be financially in the hole to pay for this trip, politely decline. The next reason you shouldn't go on the girls' trip is they didn't tell you on time. They didn't tell you soon enough. Similarly to the money issue, if I'm hearing about this group trip 2 weeks before it's about to happen, what? How? Like, literally, how, Sway? Ain't no way. Like, I just feel like it's very it's very inconsiderate to tell people last minute, like, hey, in 2 weeks, in a month. I even think, if honestly, if you don't tell me within at least 3 months, then that's just inconsiderate. If you really want me to go, you need to tell me 3 to 6 months, even 9 months, even a year. A year would be best if you know for sure where you want to go. 9 months is ideal. 6 months is cool. I'm gonna figure it out. 3 months is like that's it. And girl, don't even tell me we trying to go to Turks and Caicos. If it's 3 months, we better be going to like Texas or something, Miami. We going to Atlanta. We going maybe Mexico, sure. But if it's any further than that, girl, ain't no way. Okay. So if the person didn't tell you and give you enough heads up about the trip, and now you have to move your schedule around, and now it's going to be a huge hassle to go on this trip, don't go on the trip.
Cheers to the girls' weekend.
Cheers,
Let's get it on. You better watch those B words, baby.
You don't like these people. You don't even hang out with these people on a day-to-day basis. These aren't the people you would call if you wanted to go kick it or talk or get food. These aren't the homies. Like, why are you going on a trip with people that you do not like? Okay. Now, there's a difference between going on a girls' trip with people you don't like and people you don't know. Okay. Going on a trip with people you don't know could be fun. It could be an excellent way to meet new people. It could be a great way to like get out of your comfort zone and, be around different energy. There's a tons of group, like travel groups that bring people on trips with people that don't know, especially if you're traveling solo and you don't necessarily want to just go alone. You want to go with the group, but you're technically traveling solo because your friends aren't going. Going on a group trip is actually like could be a great way to meet new people and feel safe in a new country without, having to deal with the whole planning of it all. Like I said, that's different from I don't like these hoes. Okay. Like if there are people on the trip that you literally do not like you do not get along with, don't go. Like why would you put yourself in that situation? Do not go. And there's caveats here. Sometimes it's like, well, there's 10 people going, all 9 of them are cool, and then this one girl isn't cool, so I'm gonna stay away from that one girl. That's fine. But if it's 9 people going on the trip and 6 of them, you and them don't met, don't go on the trip. Don't go on the trip. Because honestly, it's funny, but it's also dangerous. All these stories that we hear of, girls going to different countries with women who turned out that they hated them, they gonna leave you for dead. They gonna leave you for dead. Like literally, you could literally end up dead. You could end up in a messed up situation that someone you didn't like put you in. They didn't have your back. They didn't come looking for you. You got separated. No one's checking for you. And next thing you know, something terrible happens. God forbid. But we've seen the stories. We've seen it over and over again. People who travel on these girls' trips, they go with a group of girls that they kind of know and they kind of like. It's a little iffy. And next thing you know, it's like they didn't come back home. Another reason for not going on the girls' trip is, let's say you're going with a group of people that just have a different travel style than you.
No sleep. Bus. Club. Another club. Plane. Next place. No sleep.
You could be someone who is maybe more, you're very comfortable traveling, and you're now going with a group that is maybe new to traveling. So you're used to maybe going on trips and like, we don't all have to do the same thing. I'm gonna go to the shops and y'all could go to the museum and we can meet back up at this time. But they're like, everybody got to be on the same page. Everyone got to be at the same place at the same time with the same. If that's not your vibe, you might have an uncomfortable time on this trip. And I know it's hard to gauge. It's hard to gauge how people travel when you haven't traveled with them before. But if you have any indication that, traveling on this trip might mean that you're doing a lot of things you don't want to do, or you're paying for things that you don't want to pay for, or you are just with people that are on a completely different vibe than you, then you probably shouldn't go. So the last of my reasons of why you shouldn't go on the girls' trip is there's no itinerary. There's no plan. There's nada. There's nothing. Okay. And this might be, everything's checked off. All right. You're with a cool group of people. You are, you got the funds. You're good. Everyone's good vibes. We're kind of on the same page. But time is coming close to this trip and nothing has been booked. No plans have been made. There's no itinerary. And I know people who are like more spontaneous travelers or people who just go with the flow. Hear me out, because I'm similar. I don't always need an itinerary. However, there's one thing to not have an itinerary or an idea of what you guys are going to do when you get to this location. And it's another thing to literally not have anything booked and no one's taking charge. No one's taking lead of like, hey, y'all, we need to start booking hotel or Airbnb. Which flights are we going on? Like, which neighborhood should we stay in? Where should we be avoiding? I've heard one too many girls' trips that have just devolved and just became horror stories because no one planned anything, no one researched anything. And then when they got there, they realized their Airbnb was like up in the hood in the freaking, or hella far from maybe the central area they wanted to be in. And it just made the trip miserable because no one took the initiative to plan or research or do anything to make sure that they were in proximity to things they wanted to do. They booked things on time so they weren't left with like a bunk ass Airbnb. Like they did these things in advance. So if that's not happening and no one's taking charge, and maybe you don't want to because it's not your trip, those are my reasons for skipping the girls' trip. I am praying, okay? I am praying that we see less of these girls' trip horror stories, but let's be real. We're probably not, okay? We're probably not, because y'all ain't listen to my tips. But overall, if you're going on a girls' group trip, stay adaptable, stay flexible, but stay vigilant. Make sure, don't force yourself to go on the trip if it doesn't feel right. But, sometimes you got to roll with the punches when it comes to traveling. So let me know what y'all think. Do you agree with these tips? Are there any tips you would add? Do you have any girls trip horror stories? I feel like I want to start like sharing, not sharing, but like these girls trips that I see, I kind of want to bring them to the channel and like just we dissect what went wrong. I feel like that would be fun. Let me know if you would like that. But anyways, thank you guys for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.